Readers, do you know that feeling when you're playing a game? It might be a video game, a board game, or it could be a basketball game, and you win too easily? It's like you could win even if you were playing with your eyes closed.
That was easy.
That's exactly how determining the main idea would be in books that you used to read. Like, I bet if you were to open up this book here, right away, you would know what the main idea is. Well, the author used to tell you what the main idea was, often in the first sentence. It used to be obvious. But as we grow older, nonfiction doesn't really work that way anymore. The complex texts you're reading now are just that. They're complex. So today, I'd like to explore a couple of ways that nonfiction texts become more complex, and that way would be through the main idea. So yesterday, we were noticing in a complex text when Lunch Fights Back that it was becoming a little more challenging. So we're going to dive back into that same book today. And this time I want to think, in what ways does the main idea become more complex? So we're going to take a look at page 8 together. I'm going to start with the first paragraph here. The science behind the story. Hagfish aren't fish, despite their name. They are primitive eel-like animals that have been roaming the ocean for millions of years. Hagfish have no jaws and no backbone. What they do have, however, is slime. Douglas Fudge should know. So I'm already feeling like the main idea is complex because there are some ideas in here, but I'm not getting a clear picture of what the rest of this section will be about. Let's go ahead and read on. Fudge is a biologist at the University of Guelph in Ontario, Canada. He has been studying hagfish and their slimy defense since 1997. The slime is amazingly effective at preventing hagfish from being eaten by fish predators, including sharks, said Fudge. Hagfish release slime the moment something tries to bite them, or even just bothers them. Fudge has been slimed many times while gently handling hagfish in the laboratory. So I'm already noticing a little bit more. I'm noticing that the main idea is becoming a little bit more complex. So we're noticing that nonfiction becomes a little hard in these books. What I've noticed already is that the headings and the subheadings really don't help me, or they're a little bit misleading. Sometimes they give us the central idea or the main idea of our section, but sometimes it's just a catchy title. So over here, I'm noticing the science behind the story. Nowhere did that mention a hagfish, so I had no idea that's what it would be about. A second thing that I'm noticing in this section is that there are several main ideas. We're talking about the hagfish. The heading says science, and then it's also talking about the hagfish slime. So our nonfiction text is definitely coming up with a complex main idea. Let's finish the rest of this page. The slime comes from special glands in the hagfish's skin. The glands actually release two ingredients that combine to make slime. One ingredient is slippery mucus. The other is thread-like fibers. Hagfish slime is the only slime we know of in nature that has fibers, Fudge explained. When a predator, such as a shark, bites a hagfish, a lot happens in a short time. Mucus is ejected from the glands as tiny little packages. Fibers are ejected as coiled threads. The mucus swells and the fibers uncoil the moment they contact seawater. The fibers and the mucus together form an intricate network that is very good at trapping water, said Fudge. The result is a mixture that expands tremendously and incredibly rapidly. It all happens in about 100 milliseconds or a tenth of a second, said Fudge. In other words, hagfish make great gobs of slime in the blink of an eye. It's a nearly unbeatable defense. What I'd like you to do is to head to recap and tell me, what are you noticing about the rest of that section that makes it complex? If you need to rewind the video to hear that section again, feel free to do that. Then head to recap and tell me, what are you noticing? When you're done with your recap, please return to this video. Now that we're back to the video, something else that I had noticed in the rest of that section is that some of our main ideas, they're what's called implicit or hidden. So they were hard to find. We had to really think about it. We had to read between the lines, and we had to ask some questions. So in order to understand that section, we really had to dive deeper. If you need reminders of what makes our nonfiction get a little bit harder, all of these Post-its will be in the back of the room on our nonfiction anchor chart, so you can always look there. Today, as you're reading, I would like you to think about, how are your books becoming complex? Is there anything about the heading or the main idea that is making yours a little bit difficult as well? What are you doing to get through it and to comprehend it? Happy reading!